Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us on Canadian Innovators. Before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about how the border crossing and the different rules have affected business in Canada. So we're going to go to Steve now, and you've got a fleet of trucks. You also have business operations in various jurisdictions. Can you tell us about how the border closing and the rules going back and forth have impacted your business and your supply chain?
Yeah, really, 20 to 25% of our business, we rely on doing cross-border shipments. So that's really disappeared. We have no trucks now crossing the border. The only thing that has happened is the border crossings have been efficient because nobody's crossing. So that's not a positive, really. So that's been the biggest challenge for us, is we've just lost that business and it's not replaceable. So it's very frustrating that this whole border closure, the way it happened, as Mayor Jim talks about, like it's the biggest unmilitarized border in the world. It's a friendly border. A lot of us who live in this area, we consider ourselves binational. We cross routinely. So something needs to be done there.
And are we talking about consistency of testing or just opening it wide up? What would you like to see?
Well, I think we have to reward the vaccinations, right? 80+% of us have been vaccinated. So I think get rid of the testing part. Like, trust us and put your money where your mouth is on us getting vaccinated. So I'd like to see that, because it reduces the amount of people that will even want to go for a day trip, like our lifestyle that we've had. So that's not really our business side of it, but does affect the business side as well.
Nataka, you also are, in your spare time, a ref for the NFL. So you've been to some of the games. Are you seeing a complete difference in attendance on some of the NFL games across border?
Well, we went a year with no fans at all. Now this year, I think it's something that every Canadian that likes the Bills, in our example, should experience again. The 20 minutes before kickoff, the energy in the stadium and all that, I think, and you're outdoors too. It's safe. And we should be able to cross the border to do that. The Bills on their side, Mayor Jim will tell you, we rely on that for the business in Canada. They rely on it as well. So let's get back to that.
Right, and you know, no one's going to go across for a Sabres game or a Buffalo Bills game if they have to get a PRC test. That's going to take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. So we need to get back to normal. And I'll tell you, traveling for me in the U.S., been to trade shows, it's a completely different world there. It's open, they're doing their business, they're getting back to business, and we need to do that here in Canada. So over to you, Mayor Diodati. Can you share with us, what would you do? If you were the Prime Minister or the Premier, what would you do to fix the situation we are in and get businesses back on track?
Well, first thing I do is I consult with my border city mayors. We have regular calls, and we used to do it with Minister Blair, and we would give them feedback. I always said, in business, I go to my customers, client, frontline people. They usually know the answers. Come to us. We live in the border. We understand. We grew up with it. We understand it much better than anyone else. And what will work. So the first thing, we passed a resolution at our city council this past Tuesday asking for the elimination of testing. The PCR tests are expensive. They're an encumbrance for people coming. And I know situations where they weren't done in time, where the 72 hours expired. So it's where people just say it isn't worth it. So my suggestion would be to talk to the mayors, listen to what we're saying, and also communicate. I'm talking to Congressman Higgins on a regular basis, Chuck Schumer, Senator, Senate Majority Leader. We talk all the other border city mayors on the U.S. side, and we're talking about solutions. And they're saying, why are you guys doing this? We don't understand. And as mentioned here, by Stephen, our vaccination rates are well into the 80s. I mean, our numbers are fantastic, and yet we're still acting as if it's not. It's very frustrating for everybody, the messages, and it's a quality of life now. We want to go watch Josh Allen in the Bills. We want to go to the Sabres games. We want to go over the river shopping. We want to go visiting our friends and our family members, and they want to bring their money here and do the same. You know what I'm afraid of? People are going to learn some habits of shopping elsewhere. They might not want to come back. We've got to open the door, roll out the red carpet. As long as you're fully vaccinated, and especially that's your incentive to get vaccinated, you get to come into Canada.
And it's especially true that we are conditioning people to stay in their houses. Our plant has been open throughout COVID, and I have to say that I believe our employees are much happier because they've had purpose in their life. You need to go to work to feel fulfilled. So I think we need to get back, and those are some great ideas on how to get back.